Some sad news here. Families of 4 victims who were murdered and their bodies dumped at a quarry in Pipeline area in Nairobi can now find a bit of closure. This after DNA results positively identified 4 out of the 17 bodies recovered in July. The 4 bodies have been returned to their families, while forensic investigations continue to identify the remaining victims. The families of the identified victims are now seeking financial assistance from the government to help with the burial arrangements. We get more from our very own Ben Kirui.
The families of Kenyans murdered and dumped at the Kware dump site gathered at the city mortuary to receive the DNA results. The identification process, which began shortly after the bodies were recovered in July, positively identified 4 of the 17 bodies.
Jana tukapigiwa simu, kaenda kwa DCI tukuje kutuconfirm, na tumekuja leo tumeona Rosemary.
Tulikuja leo asubuhi kuconfirm hiyo body na tumepata iko complete.
Good news, sasa the whole body parts zimematch, the upper part and the lower part zimematch. Sasa ni siku tu ya mazishi ndio imebaki.
Many of the bodies were dismembered, with some limbs amputated from the knees downwards. The family of one victim, Rosemary Achieng, saying that their loved one's body was found in a distressing state.
Part ya juu kutoka kwa magoti kwenda juu ni nusu, alafu hizo zingine za chini ziko kando.
The 4 identified bodies have been released to their families for burial. However, the families have requested financial assistance from the government to cover mortuary fees and burial expenses, as they are unable to bear the costs on their own.
Bill, it's too high. We can't manage to make it because kufikia jana it was more than 45,000. So the more itakaa, the more itazidi kuongezeka.
Human rights activists have criticized the government, alleging attempts to cover up by suspending the retrieval exercise at the Kware dump site. They also claim that there are plans to dispose of the remaining unidentified bodies.
The first question that everyone is asking, why have they suspended the retrieval of bodies from the quarry?
And I dare say it's also quite unfortunate that we now see that the Nairobi County Council wants to dispose of the bodies that are at the city mortuary before identification, because we never know if these are part of the bodies that may end up being disposed. And so as the Law Society, we are urging the courts to remember that they must protect the people of Kenya.
The identification process for the remaining 13 bodies is ongoing through forensic examination. Ben Kirui, Citizen TV, Nairobi.